This is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I'm
But
excited.
yeah, me too. Look at this. This is probably the most professional I've looked. Thank you. Thank you, sir. This is good. But yeah, let me do a quick intro.
Yeah.
Social therapy, I couldn't tell you what episode it is, but guest after guest after guest, we have a good time. Local, let's see, you've been a chef. Now you were in a band at one point in time. I know you from our skateboarding days and being in JROTC in high school. And you've been on quite a run since you got out of Elberton and then came back, right?
I've been all over, man.
It's been fun to see from, again, a distance. Just like with Zach, I was like, from afar, I got to admire the things you were doing, dude.
Zach
was fun.
Zach's awesome.
Zach's a good guy.
I love Zach so much.
I'm glad that he got to stop by because he was one of the first, when I mentioned that I was doing a podcast, he was one of the original people that hit me up and was like, if you do this, the second I hit soil in Elberton, I'm coming to your house. I was like, have at it, dude. Let's have a good time. And he brought the bottle. We sat down and polished it off, and we talked the entire day. And then we had to spend a couple hours out here sobering up before we went anywhere because it was rough, dude. But we had a great day. But I appreciate the Yingling that you, by the way. Thank you, good sir.
Yeah. So yeah, how's everything with you? How's family life treating you?
I don't know if I've had any guests that had enough time in between to get a question off of me. That's actually, I appreciate you. Everybody's good, man. We lost our dog today during Mother's Day, which was a hectic endeavor. My grandmother has a bird dog at their house. Usually, well-trained, stays around. It's a good hunting dog, but it roams. Like, it treks the fields and all that good stuff. Well, they must have jumped a hog or a deer today because my dog was with that dog, and they got missing for like an hour and a half. We hit every neighbor, and everybody on that hill is my family, quite literally. Like, I don't want to say it too jokingly or mockingly because it's like Hatfield McCoy land. Like, my whole family lives in Dewey Rose. And been there forever. And it's really cool because we can drive up everybody's driveway and be like, hey, y'all seen the dog? And they'd be like, no, we ain't seen the dog, but you can go back this trail behind the house and it cuts you back to the creek, whatever. We ended up finding the dog. A good Samaritan actually caught him up on the road, like a quarter mile from the house. So they had gotten a little ways away, but I just...
Nice little homeward bound day for the
My
pups.
kids and my wife were like, where the dog? And I'm like, how am I going to explain to them on Mother's Day that the dog is missing and I can't do anything about it at the moment? But yeah, we ended up finding them. Thank you to Gunner. I'm pretty sure was your name. I want to say it was White. You're a good dude. Random guy, literally one off. He was driving down the road, said he seen the two dogs and they were kind of tracking. Stopped the car and opened the door and they both looked at him and he was like, load up. And they jumped in the truck. He was like, all right, somebody's looking for these dogs. They're good dogs. So he took off down the road and then realized he had seen the white one once before working limbing trees down below my grandpa's house and seen the dog up on the hill. And he was like, I noticed that it was that dog. So he turned around and started on his way back and ran into us looking for him. So he went up to the house, dropped them off, and was like, just so happened, I seen it once. And then I seen it here. Yeah.
What a guy.
He was a good dude. So I appreciate him. Shout out Gunner.
You don't get that in Atlanta.
Woo! Yeah, speaking of, tell me about your travels. Just to finish my question, I am good. Life is good. The podcast is, I'm having a blast with everybody that comes on. Thank you again for stopping by. But yeah, man, I want to know what you've been up to.
What haven't I been up to? Let's see. Well, we graduated.
Yep.
So I went to Dahlonega, good old North Georgia College and State.
Did you not run a business there?
Yeah, we had the hookah lounge going for a little bit.
That's awesome, man.
It was the most random thing.
It worked out well?
Ever done. Yeah, we made pretty good money.
That's awesome, dude.
It was just...
Were you 19 at the time? 20?
Yeah, because I celebrated my 21st while we owned it, so yeah.
That's awesome, man. That takes some cojones to go that young and be going... Were you going to college up there as well?
Yeah, I went to college there. I only went for a year, dropped out, because, I wanted to tour.
I ran the long run. Look, there's a whole debate about college we could get into about whether it's not worth it or worth it.
I think for certain things it's definitely worth it. But I was going for computer science. I was like, I don't... Whatever, I was bored. I was barely going to class.
If you don't care about it, bro, you can't do it.
I felt like I went to more classes at Emmanuel going to hanging out with Evan than I did at actual North Georgia.
Yes.
So, but yeah, did that. What was it? We did the tour thing. Moved to Anderson. Then I went back to Dahlonega, and that's when we started the hookah lounge. And I was just with my college roommates. And then, what was there? That's when after the hookah lounge, that's when I started working in the kitchen for the first time. It was like 21, 22, give or take.
Did you fall in love with cooking? Has cooking become like something? Is it a pastime? Making sure that bad boy wasn't muted. I was about to say, what?
No, it's definitely my career now.
Love it.
I've worked in so many restaurants over the years. Both bar food. I worked at a Korean spot for a while. That was awesome. I've done fine dining. You know, I've run the whole gamut. And it's.
Is there a certain part of the kitchen, or as far as now, when you say the whole gamut, the restaurant from top to bottom, you worked
Started as a
busing.
dishwasher. Moved to line. I managed a couple kitchens. I've done everything.
I waited tables at Applebee's for all of maybe 6 months, maybe a little longer, and I got eaten alive by that job. Like, I was such a nice person that I wasn't built for it. I ain't gonna lie. It ate me up, dude.
That's corporate, though, man. Corporate kitchens are
it was rough.
completely different.
It was rough. I had some encounters in that place, needless to say. I had one good manager and I guess an assistant manager. I wish I could remember their names. It was a dude and a chick, but they looked after their staff as best they could. But at the same time, like, the money was terrible. The consumers, I don't want to be that guy, but I ain't gonna lie to you, working for the public sucks, bro. Working for the public sucks. It really does.
If you could hear, and people out there, if y'all could hear half the shit we talk about in the kitchen, it's like we care about the food we put out. Well, it doesn't mean we give a shit about the customers.
Yeah,
like,
you care about the quality.
But it's a nice balance, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
you have to have your quality. You got it. You're there. You care about the food you're making. You know,
oh, yeah. You have to. If I've seen cooks that just don't care what they put out, and they think they're hot shit. And it's like, are you though?
It shows in the business qualities though.
Yeah.
Like, people don't, because it shows. You can't convince people with good food when it ain't. You know.
You can't. There's only so much salt and pepper you can put on a shit dish. And
I'm gonna try to pry some kitchen secrets out of you as we go. We'll see what works and what don't.
I got a few.
Is there, from bottom to top, a favorite place that you fell into that you were like, or a gig that you had that was like, this is the spot, the people I'm with, or the things I'm learning, like as far as culinary art or whatever the case may be?
I learned a lot at the Korean spot. Shout out George. He's up there as like one of my favorite bosses of all time. Like, I learned so much, and I still use a lot of that stuff that I learned there. That's like awesome. I still make sushi like at my house like all the time. Like,
I can imagine. Is that the same now? When you say sushi, is there a different way that they make Korean sushi?
No, it's
same sushi, sushi. Yeah. Okay.
So the place was great. It was called Makin. I don't think Makin's around anymore, but George and them, they have like 7 different restaurants in Atlanta. Like, they're great people. But no, it was, so George and the other owner, they're Chinese, and both of their wives are Korean. So the restaurant group is Korean Housewives. Like, that's what they call it.
That's super cool.
It's just, they do a lot of great stuff, man. Like, I haven't seen them in a few years, but I learned so much in that kitchen.
Good folks.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm sure, just like in any industry, it's hard to find people that are caretakers to the next generation, that are trying to really teach people to do it right.
Yeah.
Because I've run into a lot, and I hate to say it, but in the Elberton granite industry, like, there are secret holders. There are people that are like, I can't teach this to another guy because he'll get that $2 raise or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, like, our knowledge it's so finite and it's so eclectic, and there's not many people that do what we do the way that we do it, that if you don't tell somebody else how to, it dies with you.
Yeah.
And that can't happen.
I never understood that about the granite industry either. It's like, why would you want to work till 80? Why wouldn't you want to pass on those secrets and keep the industry alive?
Make it better, man. That's like, and it's and we've got, again, finite resource, finite people that know how to do it. It should be something that we care to, something that we take care of, because our whole freaking economy is built around it. But anyway, back to the kitchens. No, I ain't gonna rant. I ain't ranting on Overton today. I love you guys. We're talking about Jeff. We're gonna see what he's been up to. But as far as the Korean spots and the Chinese spots, was it the women that ran all of the restaurants, as far as, or were the business owners, when you say it was the Korean housewives?
Yeah, it was.
That
was the name of it still is the name of the restaurant group. So, like, you have Like all these.
And then they had under that umbrella companies of.
Well, no, yeah, just the kitchens themselves would be underneath it.
Gotcha. Okay. I was just wondering how the hierarchy of that corporate structure would work, of like who you work for, because I've only worked in like apartment housing corporate or Applebee's corporate or whatever, and you have your regional managers or whoever. Yeah. Everybody's got suits and ties and whatever.
Yeah, I
didn't know if kitchen industry had like.
Yeah, there is like there's a lot of great corporate places, but I don't like corporate. I prefer the mom and pop feel. Like you can be way more creative in those environments as opposed to like, all right, here's the set menu. It's always gonna be this. You're always gonna cook this. You're gonna cook it this way. Like there's just no fun in it.
Right.
Like, but when you can just make shit on the fly, like it's.
Speaking of, do you have a favorite dish, or have you made a dish? 2 questions in one. Do you have a favorite dish to make? Secondly, have you ever created a dish of your own that is like...
Oh, yeah. So,
yes.
I make...
These are the things you need to know, people.
I make a very, very good mushroom risotto. That's one of my favorite things. And risotto, it's not hard to make. It's just a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really good. And then at the pub that I worked in Atlanta, so that was before I moved back here.
Yeah.
We needed a soup for like a special, and it was like we were just tired of the same old. So I did like a modified potato soup, but using dill pickles and stuff in it, and then garnishing it with the pickle. It was sold out in like 2 hours.
That's awesome, dude.
Just I was like, I like pickles. I think everybody else likes pickles. Let's try this shit out. Like,
see how it works.
And it's that, and then
I wonder if do they still run that dish?
No, I'm the only one that has that recipe.
Okay.
That's a homemade one.
That's the back pocket right
and
there.
And then my grandpa's Brunswick stew, which I'm still the only person in Elberton that has that recipe. You remember the VFW when they would sell the Brunswick stew on the Saturdays?
Yeah.
That one. They've tried to recreate it, and they always fail.
It is.
And
he probably put his foot in it. You got the recipe?
I have the recipe. I'm the only one
You can put your foot in it?
And wait until this fall at Flat Tire. Might be making an appearance.
Hey! Shout out Flat Tire. Businesses in Elberton, I always want y'all guys to succeed. All of you. Oh, yeah. I genuinely mean that. So, the more support, the better. Is there anything going on at Flat Tire that they got new? They popping off on some stuff? I know I went and shot pool up there, and the pool hall in the back is nice.
We didn't leave there last night till 1:30 because we were just shooting pool all night.
It's a good place. It's a good hang.
Yeah.
Not to quote Joe Rogan and all of what he does, but it's a good place to pool.
It's a great hang too because G's got like such a good thing going up there. Like he cares about it. He cares about the town. Like he wants it to succeed, and it very much is. Like, we've been nonstop busy the past like month, and I've been there for a month and a half.
That's
like
awesome. That's what you want. That's what you want. Shout out. Good stuff, guys. Let's see. Let me ask you something. Did you tour at all? You went and did some band extravaganzas, I'll say. Who was the crew? Did you have multiple groups that you ended up traveling with, or was it select? Okay, I didn't know you had like a plethora of people.
Yeah,
you went through.
Like we did the tour thing for a little bit with A Place Past Hope, formerly known as Broken Romance. That was the high school shit. Me, Evan, Emma,
love it.
Caleb Cartledge,
love it.
The neighbor.
Shout out Caleb with your new Subaru. I see you.
I saw
whip him, bro.
Whoa.
He came by the house and I hit him with one of these. I think he busted out laughing.
He had a good tax season, apparently.
That's awesome, man. I'm proud of you, buddy.
And then John Fortson for a while, which one of the best drummers in Georgia, like hands down.
I know you ain't. I grew up with him too, bro. I grew up with him too.
Disgusting.
I always love seeing because he does gospel stuff now, and he's like, I guess I don't know if he's teaching. Or if he's doing playthroughs or something. I've seen videos on Facebook. I have very little information on exactly what it is he's up to. But he should be making the big bucks because the man knows how to sling them sticks. It's amazing.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, when we seen him in middle school, we knew because he was killing it then.
He was incredible. Like, it still is. Like all the bands that we played with, like there was, because we played for a while and we got to know all like the bigger bands in Georgia, like still at the local level, but you play enough, you get to know who's who. And I swear, like every drummer hated when we would play with them, because especially when we had John, because they were like,
Come on, bro.
I
I gotta follow that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Jonathan Fortson, man, that's
he's the
awesome.
man.
How about you? Where did you, were you lead? Did you
No,
lead?
I just played bass.
Just
and
played
then,
bass.
Did a few of the screams every now and then.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That takes some cojones.
Eh.
I'd say, look, I've been playing guitar in my back room alone since I was 14. Like, I just have never had the public, I don't know. I guess I have stage fright, even though I do this now. Like, it's just a weird thing about playing music. It's so vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. It's a vulnerable
There
thing.
is a difference between playing in front of people
Oh,
and, like, doing, like, a video shoot, right?
Yes.
Like, we did a music video on top of Cody McClanahan's old house, that big mansion out on Cowan Falls Highway.
yeah.
When she used to live
It's
there.
got the...
We climbed onto the roof.
Does it have the fence around
Yeah.
the top of it? I
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
We climbed onto the roof and shot a music video in high school, and it was...
That's
But
dope,
that
man.
was fun. And then, like, playing in front of a crowd, like, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. Like, I would still get butterflies.
Oh, dude.
But then as soon as that first note hits, like, you're in a different zone. Like, it's...
Every person, Chris Dial, that I had on,
Yeah.
They played Get Out the Robbers. Guys smashed it, by the way, out at
how
Southbound.
was
It was
how was
fun,
the
man.
festival?
We didn't get to stay as long as we wanted to. I had things that I ain't gonna lie to you. I was behind on Mother's Day now that it's passed,
Uh-oh.
and everybody got their things. I was behind, but I got it done, ladies and gentlemen. So I go successful. I had to go get the kids. We had to go get some stuff done. But as far as everything that I've seen, there was a lot of talent, and it's really cool to see the local support and also people that are not from here show up for people that I know to be local people. You know what I'm saying? Like Clay Page, like
I mean,
Get Out the Robbers, and they had fans
Clay
out
Page
there.
is so talented.
Dude.
So talented.
And I love the kid. He's so humble. He's so
Oh, yeah.
nice. He's one of the
100%.
nicest people you'll ever meet. Him and Cole have a better relationship, or more knowing. They know each other a lot better than I know him. I'm a tertiary to that.
Yeah.
But him and Cole, whenever he spoke about Cole, or whenever Cole spoke about him, rather, he always said that he's just genuinely he is what he sings about. Like, he's just a down home, country, great guy, and I love him for it. I didn't get to see Clay. Like I said, I had to leave. Sorry, Clay. But I'm sure you killed it. But yeah, it was fun. I can't remember who the second band was. It was a guy and a co-guitarist. But they played a couple songs that I was really impressed by. Just to have a two-man guitar gig up there, and they were just rocking it out. And I was like, these guys got it too, man. So it was cool to see all the talent coming up. And
who would have thought Elbert County would have a music festival?
But that's why I'm doing this,
Yeah.
man, because people like you exist here, like the life you
Yeah.
lived. Oh, speaking of which, have you ever made a meal? And this is a loaded question. Have you ever made a meal for someone that would be interesting to tell me about? Have you made a meal for a famous person?
Yeah.
Who?
Charles Barkley.
I know this answer. I'm
Yeah.
asking for the people, bro.
Yeah, we love Chuck.
I'm gonna make you toot your own horn because I want to hear about it. I want to know what the whole gig was like. Where were you at when this went
We were
down?
just at the pub that we work at. Like, Evans is still working there right now, but he's about to move back home full time, like back here, which is very, very excited about that.
That's awesome.
No, Chuck he's a regular. Like, they'll get done shooting on TNT,
Mhm.
and he just
Pops down to the
pops in, has a couple drinks, smokes a cigar, like, just hangs out, like it's nothing. Like, and we've known him for like 8-9 years at this point.
That's cool.
Like,
man.
he's
He's just another guy.
fucking hilarious human being.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give a shit.
That's awesome,
Like,
man.
just
Well, I
does
guess
not.
once you ascend to a certain level and you can carry your, not in a bad way, like you can genuinely be yourself and not care because you've succeeded to a certain point that
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what anybody
Well, I mean,
around
to
you
be
thinks.
fair, he's never cared what anybody
Yeah,
thinks.
very
Like,
true.
even when he was still
he
playing.
was the guy, because you got to have honestly, to be that good, you probably have to have an ego and a sort to where you're just like, I got this. I can do what I need to do here. You know, that's a very interesting point. But Charles, did he come in and you just first time be like, oh yeah, Charles Barkley, let me get you a burger, bro. No worries.
It was
Because I'd have been awestruck. I'd have been like, oh, dude, I'm going to drop the spatula on the ground and have to wash it and then have to, something weird's going to happen.
we don't drop spatulas.
See, I've only worked the waiter part. I
Yeah.
never had to, I joshed with the kitchen. I was always good to the kitchen because the kitchen's got to be where it starts and where it comes from. You don't disrespect it. You don't disrespect the kitchen. Just to let you know.
We will
don't
not
just-
spit in your food, but
Nah.
we will make sure it takes a little bit longer to get out to you, which I think is more annoying.
It's extremely, honestly. And you know it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you're just sitting there. Deep breaths. But yeah, never mess with the kitchen, first and foremost.
No, it was because we've been going to that bar for a long time in Atlanta. It's known as the industry spot, so like everybody that works in the restaurant industry comes there after hours.
Oh, okay.
We would stay open late. Like sometimes I wouldn't get home till like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. To get up and then do the burners again in the morning?
Well, especially on weekends because we were pulling 18-hour doubles, like open close.
Yeah, I only had to close and open once, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Oh, I love it. I would rather close than open, but that's just years of being a night owl. And
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we're on Discord like
Yeah, buddy.
all throughout the night. Like,
Shout out to the Discord, by the way.
Lemonade stand.
Yeah,
I see
buddy.
y'all. Shout out Twinkie.
Shout out Twinkie. Dude, that's so cool, by the way, that I appreciate the invites and the community that you've built there in earnest, because like y'all have almost, I don't know, a reservation of a sort, bro. Like it's off the map.
People we have in that one.
It's off the map. That's what I'm saying. Like it's its own entity. Like it just exists in its own little bubble where y'all can say what you want to say and be as real as you want to be and speak the truth that you want to speak.
Can't really say what you want to say anymore.
Oh, really? It's moderated?
No, not moderated. The government kind of wants to start checking in on Discord a little bit after that.
After the leak,
Yeah.
the guy was like a turd,
Which
and
is
homie was flexing for no reason.
so ridiculous.
Yeah, I have.
Like,
Well, that's what. I'm never mind. I'm gonna hush. You can't.
I mean, we can just keep scrolling. We have at least, there's like 200 people just in this one. And then we have a few other ones that are underneath that lemonade stand umbrella. Because we have Evan's wife, Heather, she did all of our logo design. Because me and Twinkie, we got drunk. We're like, hey, what should we do our logo? Like, we should do King of the Hill style. And she's like, y'all had to pick the ugliest art style.
Yes.
And it worked.
It did.
Like, it's great. Yeah, we got merch coming soon. Got to roll it out to the boys first before we
Shout out.
put it out.
That's awesome, man. Well, you know I'm here to support.
I mean, you're a part of it, so.
I appreciate you, but I want to know, like, help any way I can. I want to help. Oh yeah, does Charles have a specific thing he always orders?
Yeah, vodka cran.
Vodka cran.
Well, that's
Word.
big old tall one.
Big
too.
old tall.
Not a.
Well, I figure his
Well,
hands.
yeah, and his
his
hand
hands. You
looks
can't
small.
give him
Yeah.
anything small, dude.
Yeah, he downs those things. No, he's a great human being.
That's awesome. I would imagine just hanging out with anybody of that status or stature that is a good time is relieving in a way, because you never know like what these people under that kind of scrutiny and stress are going to be like in the public. You know, fuck out of my face. I don't want an autograph right now. Blah 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 blah. Because some people don't. I wouldn't do well with it.
So like everybody there acts like he's just a normal person, because
Which
he
is
is.
why he goes there.
Yeah, like we don't
Excuse
we
me.
don't treat him any differently than we do the asshole that ran out on his tab a week prior. Like we just, because I was that asshole a couple times. Got a little too faded there.
Look, buddy.
Walked home and then had to come back into work tomorrow.
There's been some shames.
The next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we just like he just comes hangs out. Like every now and then there'll be like some rando that's never been there, and he walks in. They're like. And we're like, yes, it's Charles Barkley. Ask him if you want a picture. Like,
Yeah.
that's because he'll say yeah. Like he doesn't care, but yeah,
Y'all are that
he just hangs out and
casual.
shoots the shit with everybody.
That's awesome, man.
He brought in Wayne Gretzky a couple months ago, which I was so mad because I wasn't there.
I was about to say, were you there?
No, Evan texted me. He was like, bro, Wayne Gretzky just walked in. I was like, you son of a bitch.
God, man. Did he get any? I mean, I'm the fanboy. Did he get an autograph? Did he ask for anything of the sort? You don't ask for people for that kind of stuff?
No.
Okay.
No.
I would be that guy. I'm sorry.
Oh, I would have been too.
Oh,
At least a picture with
I'm
the
sorry,
great one.
man. Yeah,
Like,
I just at least a photo. You could punch me. I don't care.
I would
Give me
take-
something
I
to
would take a
remember.
hit from Gretzky.
Yeah, he'd probably knock your head off.
Oh, he definitely
He'd
would.
He'd clear my jaw. Like,
Yeah.
I'd imagine the hockey guys. Speaking of, you want to tell me what you got on there?
Oh yeah, good old Seattle Kraken hockey. Game 7 about to happen. Let's hope they pulled it through last night. I was like, let's go.
Are you guys going to chat about it? I don't mean to plug unintentionally, but
Oh, the Sin Bin Goons.
the Sin Bin Goons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and two crazy Canadians talking hockey. Like that's.
Okay. Can we expect any dates on this? As far as do I have like drop times and dates? Like I try to do. I'm not as scheduled as I should be, but
I think Tuesday we're gonna do our first full episode. So it'll be like hour and a half to 2 hours, and
Good
then
stuff, man.
it'll be up eventually. Like we're just recording it through Skype and stuff, so it's like we're not even gonna edit. We're not gonna do anything.
There's
it's
no
just,
look.
yeah.
Very little editing happens in this show.
We just don't care. Like we're just having fun with it. So it's like, why edit? We're just gonna put it straight up to YouTube, and that's it.
That's the way it's supposed to be, man. I feel like raw and intentional is what the people want.
Especially with those two crazy Canadians.
I can imagine, man. Like, it's perspectively, have you talked to them about, like, what it was like up in Canada, or how it is up in Canada, or what's going on up in Canada, or...
I'll talk to them every day.
Is Trudeau, like, an actual dictator? Is he not a dictator? Or
I
like,
can't get that answer out of them.
Okay.
Neither one of them give a shit, so it's...
They don't pay...
They're in British
Hockey.
Columbia. That's its own little... That West Coast does not care about the rest of Canada.
That's cool, man.
No.
I forget how big Canada is now that I actually think about it.
It's massive.
Massive place. Have you ever been snowboarding?
Yeah. Back in, like, middle school, early high school, I think was the last time.
I got you. I was asking because you have Canadian friends, and I wouldn't know how hard it'd be to get to where they are, but I'd imagine there's probably
pretty hard for me. I can't cross the border.
Are you still... Is that from school?
No. Oh, from me setting... Yeah, I mean, I
Wait,
still...
do you want to tell that story?
I mean, we can, yeah.
That's up to you, dude. I didn't want to, it's up to you. That's your story to tell.
On the well, I can fly within the country, but I think I'm on the no-fly list. That was wild.
I wasn't there for it. I wasn't a part of that. I wasn't there for the class of whatever.
When was that? That was 8th grade, I think, because we were the first class to go back to D.C. after 9/11.
Yes. I didn't even realize that was the time frame of these things. Oh,
well,
dude.
That's what happens when you take the challenge kids, stop at a truck stop, and let us buy TNT Pop-Its. Like, we're going to find out how to make them pop on clothing.
Yes.
And then, the little bomb detector at the Capitol building did not like that.
So it detected the material?
The gunpowder residue from the TNT Pop-Its.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know they could detect materials
Oh,
in that
yeah.
fashion. I didn't know. See, that's crazy to me. And this is back in when? 2000...
What was that, 2004?
4? 8th grade? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
God, 2004. That's crazy.
Yeah, they put me in a little holding cell for about 2 hours. I was freaking
I imagine,
out.
dude.
I had no idea what was going on. Cause, I had the fart machine in the backpack, too. So, I thought that I was getting in trouble for that. I didn't even think about the fact that we spent like 5 hours the night before throwing TNT Pop-Its at each other.
No.
Like, and it was every guy on that trip was doing it, too. And I'm the one that got caught.
No, dude.
But no, Canada's very weird about if you have a DUI, it's very hard to cross the border without a work visa. And
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is an interesting law. Like, DUI, I wonder if it's just DUIs or any inhibiting... Like,
I think
if you've had a drug charge of any kind, you can't get across the border.
Yeah.
It's not just if you've had a beer and then took off and got caught by the wrong guy. But yeah, that's interesting, man. 2 Canadians. Well, we'll have to plan a snowboarding trip to full circle myself back into how this started. Because when you say Canadians, I was like, ooh, snowboarding.
I mean, I can probably get across. I can just cross the river up in Seattle. It'll be right.
Well, we can get up there and see what's up. I ain't gonna lie, because I hear there's some really cool stuff up in British Columbia, man.
Dude, it's where Drac lives. Shout out Drac. It's gorgeous. It's like, so when you're driving through Tennessee from Chattanooga to Nashville, that huge lake right there. Mm-hmm. So they have an area like that, and my buddy lives right on the lake, and it's from pictures, it's more beautiful than the spot in
That's awesome,
Tennessee.
man. I bet it is. As far as your band travels, did you play any spots or meet any bands that were like top tier that you were like, this is cool?
Yeah. Did a little. I sold merch for a band called Come and Rest for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did a tour with Wage War, which they're so good. Cool dudes too. But that was like a little quick Christmas tour down in Florida, because Wage War's from Florida, so we just started in Pompano Beach, then went to Orlando, then Ocala, and it was like a little 3-day stint. It was fun.
I bet.
Like, it was just, let's end the year off on a good note.
That's cool.
Yeah, we have so many friends that we've met. Like, it's too many to name over the years. Like, just knowing people and then being friends with other bands, and then going to their shows, being backstage in the green room, hanging out. Like watching my grandma just swig Jameson straight from the bottle in a green room at a hardcore show. Is
See,
hilarious.
these are the things I'd like to
Like,
hear. Okay.
yeah.
Grandma came with you to what concert? Palisades?
Yeah, it was Palisades.
Yes, good
Yeah.
guess.
It was her
Yes.
birthday too, so it was like we did it right.
That's
and
awesome,
she got
dude.
tore up.
That's a good time, dude.
Yeah.
Now that we're all adults, how cool is it that we get to hang out as adults? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've got to drink with my cousin. Like I have younger cousins that are now of age now, and being like you get to that point where you're like, now we get to have a beer together or whatever.
Well, my little cousin when he turned 21, that was fun. Like I made him come up to the pub in Atlanta. Like I got him pretty wasted, and it was great. But he was still like very. Like, he wasn't my level of drunk on my 21st.
Right.
Because I don't remember it.
I got blasted.
Oh, Athens. I've never had a great time in Athens. I'm either left behind and have to... Like, we tailgated for Georgia-Auburn one year. And I went off with some other people that I met tailgating. And then Smalls and them just leave me. And they're like, I didn't have my phone, didn't have anything. That was a fun night.
Is that the worst of Athens? Is that the worst of your Athens experience? Because I have a story.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went out with an unnamed person's. I will say, I was staying at, was it 17 Deer Trigger or 13 Deer Trigger Lane or something? It was where I was staying with Rachel Gross and Morgan Lynch.
Okay, yeah.
We were crashing at that house. I was trying to get through working into Athens and finding a job. Going to school at Athens Tech and finding a job in Athens. And this is like right after the housing economic collapse. Nobody had jobs to offer. What
a fun time.
Oh, dude, it sucked. I was eating napkins to get by. Like, it was ridiculous. But I had a really good time living in the house. And at the time, there was a guy that came by, and I really hope that he gets, because he's somebody we all know, and I hope that we get to sit down and have some of these conversations, but I don't want to give him away yet.
Gotta wait for the statute of limitations to be up.
Because we didn't know each other well at first, but then we come to know each other well because there was some controversy and some strife that happened in the house, and then we had to have heart-to-heart conversations, and we were like, you're a cool guy, I'm a cool guy, let's figure this out. And then from that point forward, he and I went out to Athens together as like, I guess it was the first time after we had really become like, you're cool, I'm cool, we have no beef, nobody's like mad about anything, whatever the case may be. And I went bar hopping for the first time in my life, essentially, at 21 years old. Was I 21 yet? No, I wasn't. Wow. I might have to edit this part out, dude. I don't know if I can say these things. I got away with a lot of things, but all right.
We're what, 32 now? I'm sure it's fine.
We got away with a good bit of things, but I got into some places. I won't name any of the people or any of the things, so, sue me. It is what it is. This is a true story.
Just do the Pat McAfee.
Allegedly, this happened. But yeah, from my recollection of a night that possibly may or may not have happened, we went bar hopping for the first time, and by the third bar, I was shot. And I'm not sure if this was like intentional on his part, just because he didn't know that I didn't party as hard as he did. But we started out at a rugby bar because he was a part of the team, and the captain was birthdaying. Like, that was his birthday, and they had a sponsored Yingling and Bud Light event, and there's people just passing out drinks the whole time we're there. We had like a $300 tab that we didn't have to pay because it was the night, and he was a part of the team, and I was with him, so we went to the tab, and they were like, it's $300. He was like, I'm the left, back, or something like that, and I'm like, all right, bro, I'm with him, and they were like, y'all have a great night. We stumble out into the earth of Athens and just go down to another bar, don't remember what it was, and then by the third one, we had a shot by the end of the night of 151.
Oh, there it is.
That was the killer.
There it is.
I didn't realize, because I was still inexperienced, I was smashed by that point and then took that shot.
Out.
I was asleep in a bush. I slept in a bush that night, somewhere in Athens. But it was a ring, and I was in the center of it. So I was protected from what I had seen when I woke up. I think we called a friend of ours to come pick us up, but yeah, that was the roughest night I ever had in Athens. I didn't get out of bed the next day for I don't think the entire day. I may have made it 8 hours, 9 hours. I was supposed to be at my grandma's house for supper the next day. It was awful, dude. I called Mom and was like, I'm not going to be able to get out of bed. Like, motion sick, as you could imagine. And it was killing me. But that was the worst I'd ever been. And hopefully, that was the last time I'll ever experience motion sickness like that, because God forbid, dude, I might be a little high. I about died the next day. My
151 is taking down stronger people.
Dude.
It is not fun.
It was rough.
I've had those
never.
nights.
I have never. I still remember. I'm not drank it since.
Oh, no, I can't drink rum anymore.
I have not drank it since.
I can't smell rum. I can't look at it.
Is that your alcohol that's like, ugh? Is there one? Is the rum?
Yeah. I had a bad night with 151, and never again.
Tequila is my usual go-to. And that's,
tequila.
It's just something about it, man. I like it. It's clean. It doesn't make me feel like crap the next day.
And this is when I was managing Crimson Moon up in Dahlonega. Great restaurant, but the owner's trash. That's all I'll say about that.
10-4.
We used to do Tequila Tuesdays after we'd get off work and just go to a random, like either my house or one of the apartments of the servers and just nothing but tequila all night. And all of us would have to open the very next day. And I don't know why we thought it was a great idea. It never, we never got too bad. But just that during the summer it was rough because the kitchen gets hot in the summer.
I bet, dude. All the grill and the heat and the ovens and all that other good stuff. Craziest accident you've ever seen in the back room of a kitchen?
Actually, this one right here.
Oh, you got yourself? I thought you were going to get to tell me about somebody else. It's a personal. Nice.
So yeah, no, I was sitting there cutting green onions one day, and this kitchen was like down in a basement, but there was 2 bathrooms there, so like there'd be people in and out, and of course it's Atlanta, so you can imagine what they're doing in those bathrooms, going in and out like 50 times a night.
Yep.
And just one of our buddies like kind of stops at the kitchen door, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, Jeff?" And I look up for 1 second and say, "Hey," and pretty much the entire tip of my thumb. Almost sliced it clean off, and then it was one of those like grab a rag and some super glue and.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. You can't see it anymore because I've grown, but maybe 10 or 12 years old, I was cleaning catfish with my grandmother in the kitchen sink, and she handed me one of her real sharp knives. Mm-hmm. One of the one that's been sharpened so much that it like bent. It's tiny. You know what I'm saying? One of those. Yeah. I was sitting there just going through a fish. Same thing, like Pop walked in with quail, something like that, slapped him on the counter, and I looked over, and right when I went through it, bro, it caught the end of my finger and cut it almost completely off. It had like a dangle going, and then Pop walked over, right after he walked in with bird feathers on him, stuck it back on, and super glued it, and that was it. Went about the day.
I keep it in my knife bag. Yep.
Super glue.
Super glue on that one. We got a couple super glues around here.
Did you ever break any bones skating?
No.
Wow.
I've never broken a bone in my body. Somehow, I have lived. I mean, I'm in bonus time now, so if I do, I do.
I got
whatever. I have no idea. I've done a lot of stupid shit growing up. Like, I fell off a tree one time because my neighbor Justin Black bet me to climb to the top of a pine tree, and my stupid ass did it. To the tip was like 30 feet. And then just fell right out, hit every branch down, landed flat on my back. Oh, just knocked the breath out of me.
Wow. That's actually incredible that you didn't break something from that height.
It was hitting every limb on the way down that broke the fall.
Like the Plinko.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I was young, too, so I was probably like 70 pounds at the time.
Where was this at?
Just in my front yard.
Was this over next to Beaver Dam?
Yeah.
You know you had a neighbor see that and go, ooh, and just blink, blink, blink,
Probably.
blink, 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 blink.
Probably. I mean, Justin watched it, and he was so terrified. He thought I was dead.
I bet you, I thought you died, bro.
He ran over to my house, and was like, Mimi, I think Jeff's dead. And then by that time, I'm like on all fours, I'm like,
breathing. Jeez, dude. Yeah, I can imagine that hurt. I think I've never fell from such a height. I fell out of a tree stand once, or a deer stand once. I fell asleep and didn't have any railing on it with a gun in my hand. Yeah, that was a fun one. Those are one of those hunting stories. I used to go with my dad up to Illinois, and it would be dead of winter, like 3 feet of snow. I'm in like all wool, sitting there in a snow compacted like tree stand with a gun at 4:30 in the morning or something like that, and just nodded off and fell out of it.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude. Not the greatest moment.
Yeah. We had a few tree stands on one of the houses we lived in Dahlonega. It was right outside city limits, and there was a huge open field, and there was coyotes on the property, there was boar on the property, and then we found a bear on the property too. So we just put up tree stands all over the place. Also built a zip line from the house all the way down.
Dude, y'all had a Wild West material going on out there. Y'all had all the animals. Actually, let's go with like a Steve Irwin. Y'all had it going on out there.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Did y'all end up catching or killing any of these things?
Yeah, we killed a lot of coyotes. We did kill one of the bears, and when we called DNR on that one, DNR was like, "You got a buddy that's about 120 pounds?" They look at me. I'm like, "Yeah, is the bear bigger than him?" It's like, "Yeah." Well, all right, it's legal. DNR didn't come out, didn't do anything.
That's awesome.
Like, we used every bit of that bear.
Was you under threat, I guess, was the thing?
So, we had dogs on the property, and the bears were kind of fucking with the dogs. So,
Gotcha.
it was, at that point, it was like, do we, don't we? Like, it was probably about like a 180-pound bear. So, it was still, like, what was that, like 5 years old or something? Still a young bear, but we didn't want it messing with the dogs.
That's understandable. Look, for the first time, I seen a black bear was me and Matt Seymour. We were riding dirt bikes behind a property that we were renting at the time, Edna Road. Shout out Edna Road. I love the entire Webb family that lives out there. I'd name all of you, but I probably miss somebody and feel bad about it later. So all of you, I love you. Seriously, y'all's time with me and my brother at the age of me being like, I think 13 is when our trailer caught fire and we had it condemned, and then we had to move out there, and we stayed there until I was like almost 18. So whatever stint of life that was, it was like a second family out there.
Yeah.
I love them to death. But the property that we were on had a hunting property behind it. It was like 1,600 acres. So in non-hunting season, we get on dirt bikes and just take off, dude,
Just
and get lost out there. And it was so much fun. It was actually a really fun part of my childhood. But we were back there one day, and me and Matt just cruising along on a dirt road and look up, and a black bear runs across the road. And me and him stop. We look at each other. Did you see that? I seen that. Okay. We're not supposed to have bears. This is when they didn't think bears came down this far, whatever the case may be.
They've been going down pretty far the past like 10 years now.
Now we know, because at the time I went back to Dad and was like, "Hey, we seen a black bear." He was like, "Shut up!
Hell, you did.
You did not. You seen a dog. It was a big dog or something. You ain't seen nothing." And literally 2 weeks later, somebody got a trail cam picture of it and then sent it. It hit whatever social media was at the time. I can't even remember what that was when we were that age. I guess I was like 14, 13, 14. MySpace, Bebo. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you remember
I think
Bebo,
was
bro?
big, yeah.
Did you have a Bebo?
No.
I did. I ain't gonna lie.
We didn't have fast enough internet for that shit.
That's crazy, man.
We got the internet upgrade when MySpace.
Oh, it wasn't at my house. That's the craziest part. None of these things that I had on social media at that time were at my property. I didn't have access because we didn't have internet. But yeah, I did. I think at the time it was Dylan Matthews. Me and Dylan were at his grandma's or at his house or whatever, and that was when Bebo and MySpace were cool. So we made pages or whatever, and then I never could check it until I went to his place. Like, it was like a thing.
Oh, imagine kids having to go through that nowadays.
No, dude. I remember index cards in the library, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's with the age that we
Dewey
are.
Decimal System,
Dewey Decimal System? Yes.
It's outdated as hell, but it works.
It worked. Y'all never have a calculator in your pocket, sir. You'll never have a calculator in your pocket. What are you talking about? Get out of here. I'm not going to name any teachers' names because I don't want y'all are probably still in the system and I love you. But there's some that gave me that you got to learn this. You'll never have a calculator on you. Well,
how about all those key club meetings in high school? What's the over-under on how many drinks Mr. Bolin had during a day? Because he was putting a little something in his drink.
I don't know, man, because he didn't jive. He jived with my brother. He did not jive with me.
He hated our class.
It was AJ Alex. AJ. Talking behind me all the time, and I love AJ to death. Me and AJ are still friends to this day. He's a super successful human being. I'm so proud of you, buddy. I love you so much. And I just want you to keep doing whatever it is that you've been doing because you're doing well. But yeah, he would be talking behind me, dude, and I'd be sitting there like, what is it? And every time I turn around, Bolin would be like, Chaz, if you know so much, won't you come teach the material? And I'd be like, dude, help me help you. Like, it wasn't even me. Like, I think that was my usual response. It wasn't even me because I'm the one turning around, and that makes sense in post. As a teacher, I kind of get it. Like, I'm not paying attention. I'm not ragging.
The easiest class to deal with.
I'm an old man now. Oh, dude, were you a part of the 6th grade class that, I don't know if I should mute this. Do you remember, I don't want to say her name because I feel so bad. Do you remember Miss Hutto? Do you?
Yeah.
Dude, we were terrible to that.
Yo, yeah, everybody
we were
was.
terrible to that.
Like,
woman.
looking back,
I
even
was a
even eighth
ter-
grade with Miss McIlvain. She taught that 1 year and
that
was
was it.
gone because of us.
But that was y'all. I wasn't a
Yeah.
part of that one.
Whoa.
Y'all got the 8th grade. The 6th grade Hutto experience though I was there for. And dude, I feel so bad, lady, if you're still out there and you're doing well. I'm sorry. We didn't know.
I mean, we were kind of assholes back
We
then.
were terrible.
Shocker, we were in middle school.
You just got the short straw on that one because I don't remember if there was a reason or a rhyme for it. If she was mean to us or had some kind of attitude about her, that because we were cool with most of the teachers.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't really have that beef with anybody else, but with that lady, we picked a fight. It was a war.
I feel like every class had beef with her, though.
I feel like they did too, so it might
Like-
not have just been us. All right, I'm trying to relieve myself of the guilt in some way, bro, because it was terrible.
I mean, what is that? 20 years ago?
It was. It was.
Like-
I think about it sometimes. I'm not
We are
gonna lie.
completely different
We are
human
now.
beings than we were back then.
We
for
are.
sure.
Which is another testament to how far we've come. Like, throughout your all, like, circling back to you, good sir. Throughout all your experiences, and cooking and doing the band thing and skateboarding, and is there any lesson? Let me go with lesson. I think lesson is the word I'm looking for. Is there a lesson that you can impart to anybody that is in our community now that you've come back? And that's another thing I want to circle back to. What's it like being back? Don't let me forget to ask you that because that's.
Oh, I love it here.
No,
I love it here.
Well, because
I
I
don't
want to
give a
end.
shit about the amenities that Atlanta has, that like any other big city has. You can't just look up in the night sky in a big city like you can here, and that's like one of the reasons why I just still to this day love it here.
That's awesome.
No, if I had to impart some wisdom,
Give some wisdom. Drop some wisdom on these boys and girls.
don't do something because you think it'll make you money. Do something because you actually enjoy what it is that you're doing. Like,
Thank you.
I've worked retail. I worked at Nike and Converse for a while there, and it was fun, like whatever. But it sucked, man. Like, and then doing computer science in college, like I love computers. I still build PCs to this day. I just built one the other day.
Awesome.
And I build for a lot of people. I got Twinkie into building, like.
I think did I ever ask you? I asked you like some parts questions and whatnot because I built my own.
Yep. Yeah, that was a few years ago.
Yeah, it was 2019 or right before
Yep,
COVID.
yep.
It was literally I bought parts and everybody was like, they're about to go down because the new generation's about to come out and you're gonna buy a high price. And I was like, you know what? I'm building it now. I want all the
Yeah.
parts now. So I just bought it and it was a couple $100 more than.
And then COVID hit,
And it
and
was
they
my
skyrocketed.
My
Yeah.
card
It was
skyrocketed.
like $2,000.
$1,500 minimum.
Yeah.
I got a 2070 Super,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah,
at
that thing was going for like 1,800 for a while
at
there.
least, and I was like, do I off it? Like, do I do that? And about I couldn't
because then you're gonna have a hard time looking for a new one.
Dude, it's been rough out there. Like,
All
I don't
the
want to get too
prices have gotten
political.
down now, but
I don't
especially for computer parts. But
Now that we've surplus, are we building chips here now? Are we NVIDIA is building chips here now? Because they're supposed to be. I don't get too political because I don't know enough about it. But there was a bill passed. I know.
Yeah, and that it was all bullshit because, like, literally 2 days before they passed that bill, Pelosi bought some stocks in NVIDIA. It's like, bro, how are you not called for insider trading? But whatever.
Why
Like,
are we accepting that? All right.
It's.
Do you want to go down that rabbit hole?
No,
Okay.
no, because
I didn't want. It's another 4 hours.
yeah.
It's rough out there, though, man.
I mean,
It
you
is.
see our political chat in Discord. It gets kind of
It-
heated in there,
it
and
does.
everybody loves each other. We all like, because everybody in that Discord has different views on life.
And I love that.
And we
about it.
we talk shit. We make jokes. And we do our little debates. But at the end of the day, we're still playing games together and still hanging out, having a good time, drinking. And that's
15 seconds into me being in that Discord, somebody ragged on me for looking like somebody else. I can't remember who it was, so I had to look
it
them
was
up.
probably Fuzz,
But it was hilarious, dude.
Our British compatriot.
I love it, though, because it was like, I mean, welcome to the crew.
Yeah.
Like, it was a genuine, like, no holds bar, this is how we are, this is what we do, whatever. And it was welcoming in a way. It was fun to be around. So everybody in that Discord, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't think the Nvidia thing's gonna happen for like another couple years because they got to build the factories and everything.
That makes sense.
But then there's a silicone shortage as well. So how are you gonna build a factory when there's already a shortage?
Where do we get silicon from, I wonder? See, this is
It's
my mind.
compacted sand.
So we could just pull it from anywhere?
Literally, a computer processor is sand.
How about that?
That's it.
I learned something new today. I guess quartz. I mean, breaking it down to a mineral substance. Yes, yeah, you're making a lot of sense here. I never thought about it that way though. That's actually pretty cool. We have talking rocks. We have talking rocks.
Literally, is a rock that thinks.
It's a rock that thinks, dude. When I built the computer, I won't lie, I did have that wow factor when I first put it all together and I first hooked it up. And I installed the OS myself. Yep, I did the whole 9.
That first clean boot, as soon as it clears post, is the greatest feeling ever, because then you're like, okay, cool, I can put the cover back on. I can put everything on it, and then like I always try to post it before I install Windows, because I just want to make sure.
I had the dead start. I had the first. I hooked it all up and nothing.
And
I looked.
You had the power.
Yeah.
The 2 little tiny wires. If you get those backwards, it will not start.
Yep.
Which.
And I called Brian. Brian, he was like, "This may be it. Check it out." He walked me through some things. Brian Smith. Shout out Brian Smith. He's like my go-to. Like my homie. I love you, bro. I'm gonna get you on here one day. Because he's worried, like, I love him to death, that he knows too much. He's the guy that has too much very sensitive knowledge, and he's like, I don't want to come on here and slip, bro. I got to chat with I was like, we'll woodwork it, bro. We're talking bows, hunting. I was like, we won't even touch none of that. I got you. Don't worry about it. And he's still like,
until you slide in one of those sneaky-ass questions.
I can't do it to him, man. I love the guy too much. I would never want to be, he is someone I think has one of the truest, genuine golden hearts. He is a good human, and I would never try to jeopardize him, but I do want him to come on here and just talk shop with me, because we talk, he educates. Let me rephrase. We talk, he educates. Quantum physics, like time-space continuums, how the world will end, what time is, like the big concepts of life. He and I can sit around and just chat. We read
one of those Joe Rogan moments.
I love it, man, because we can sit around and he's open to these conversations. He's open to being like, he has some really cool theories, and I'm not going to tell him here because some of them may be right. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, the guy's that smart, and I don't want to blow it and be like, I know what I'm talking about, because he's the one that told me.
We have our own little home-cooked conspiracy theory that we've been workshopping over the years that keeps getting better and better. We don't believe in it. We just want to try to get it onto 4chan, as a joke.
Okay, so we're just pushing a narrative here. I love it. Let's do it.
Global warming is a thing because all of the windmills are facing the same direction, and they're pushing the Earth closer to the sun.
Okay, word. We can push
like
that.
A big sailboat.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. So we got it worked out to where it's pushing us. The equator's or not the equator. Our I can't
our
remember.
Orbit.
Orbit. Thank you. Orbit slowly, gradually getting closer to the sun.
Oh, it's 100% bullshit, but it's one of those fun things.
It'll take off.
Because I brought it up to people. Seriously?
You'll get protesters.
And they're like,
that makes sense.
You don't believe that? I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. And it's just funny to watch people be like, what an idiot. And then I'm in the corner just dying laughing.
Because you know the joke.
I think I know.
You know the joke.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, though. I like that 4chan exists, but 4chan's a wild place, my friend.
I am not a part of it, and nor will I ever be. But if you want to create a conspiracy theory, if you can get it onto 4chan, you made it.
You made it. I didn't know the back door to the internet is open. We know. You got to 4chan it. Get it into 4chan. Do you want one more, good sir?
Might as well. I ain't got nowhere else to be.
All right, perfect.
Well,
I
do an aid, but...
Speaking of which, can we talk about that? All right, so I don't want to push and ask because I don't know 100%. But did y'all have a team that was one of the ones that beat WoW first run? Or
No. We are not that good. We do
okay.
not get paid to play World of Warcraft. Okay. Absolutely.
I didn't want to blow the top and speak out of turn.
We are,
because I know you're really good. I do know that.
You are very good.
For all of you that were here for the bands and the musics and the cooking and all that, we love you. We had a great time. We're about to nerd out for a minute because I love video games, man. I really do. So what are you doing tonight?
So new raid started on Tuesday. Race Oil First is going on right now, which I think last I checked, Liquid is on the last boss, which is great because it's always great when the American team beats out the European team.
Okay, so you have to explain that to the layman's. I know what you're talking about.
So there's this big event, and it's pretty much whatever guild gets downs the raid first. It's like this big achievement, right? Because these things, they're not easy. There's a lot of moving parts. You have 20 people that all have to know exactly what they're doing and when to do it. It's a clusterfuck, but it's fun.
Right.
Like, it's absolutely fun.
Extreme strategy.
Yeah.
Explain for those that don't know what WoW is or what even I'm talking
World of
about.
Warcraft, if you do not know what it is, you've been living under a rock, because even South Park has done episodes about it.
Fair.
It's just it's a big MMO RPG, so massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
21.6 million players. The only reason I know that is because I looked at it today. Maxed out at like 46 million.
Yeah, back in the day for
I
WoW.
can't remember
Wrath
what
of the Lich King was the highest, yeah.
That makes sense.
But so those first expansions were based around the old Warcraft games, which were just like RTS strategy games.
Mm-hmm.
And then they decided to make it a huge online thing that everybody could play with each other. It wasn't the first of its kind, but it's still the biggest out there. Like, I think Final Fantasy 14 might be up there with WoW now.
You're talking to an avid Rocket League player. Like, I have such little time.
You give me an actual soccer ball, I can do something with it. For some reason I'm not good at Rocket League. I like fucking around on it, but I'm just not good.
I am actually not bad at it. Like, I've played it for almost a decade.
Yeah.
So
it's been around that long, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Well, I say a decade. 2016 is when I started playing it. But from 2016 till now, it has been a mainstay of like something that I do in my spare time. Because I have such a minimal amount of time to play games, it's what I can cram the most into. Yeah. So I get a 5-minute game, a 5-minute game, 5-minute game. I've played 5 games, and it's only been like 30, 40 minutes, depending on how long the match is actually, if I have overtimes, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But it's something me and my brother do to like hang out. So we get online at night. He usually hits me up, hey, we'll get on Rocket League, or we'll play Apex. Something high stress, something that I don't get any relaxation on.
Oh, no, yeah.
At all. And
but it's fun.
It's so much fun. Like, it gets your heart racing, and there's moments like it's as close to playing a sport from someone that was like high school and a little bit of college ball. It's the closest that I got to that feeling of not victory, but like your effort and your teammates' effort have equated to something more than yourself, and it feels good. I don't know what it is. It's dopamine and that.
Because even with COD, right? Like, you could go 20-1 in a game, but you don't feel that great. But then when it's like if it's like a close match, everybody's on point. Then you have fun. Like, that's why we used to play Rainbow Six Siege a lot.
Oh, dude, that game I suck at.
You gotta get. Game. I mean, there's some ways that you can get better at that game.
I suck at that game, bro. I got in there and thinking, because I came in like 5 years deep, 6 years deep, and there was monsters waiting in the shadows, bro. I got on that game, and the first 2 hours of it, I was like, I don't know if I could play this, man.
There's a massive learning curve in that game. Because it's
massive.
You're just going to literally sit there an entire match, leaning, holding an angle on a window, and as soon as you see one little pixel, you shoot, and that's it. Like, it's...
And I was usually doing that, and then somebody would walk up behind me and blow me away as I'm looking down the hallway and be like, I wasn't even looking down the right angle. I didn't know the maps. I didn't know anything about it.
For years there, the sound was off on it. So, like, there was a glitch, and the sound would be reversed. So you would hear footsteps on your left, and it was coming from your right. But everybody knew that, so it was...
Not
you
me.
could adjust. They fixed it, like, 2 years ago. I think.
Oh, word. Yeah, definitely
but it was there for a long time. It was like, oh, y'all, it's Ubisoft. You have how much money? You can't fix a footstep glitch?
That's something that bothers me, is the amount of money that is sunk into video games and all this stuff, but we have glitchy, weird things in games for prolonged amounts of times. My experiences are things like Apex and not doing cross-save or crossover where I have my PlayStation account and I have my Steam account, because I played that game on PlayStation for however long it's freaking been out. Then I built a PC
and
got nothing. Yep. Got nothing. And I almost refuse it.
In a time with cross-platform, a lot of games now have adopted cross-platform saves.
Yeah.
And cross-progression. Not every game,
makes the most sense.
It does.
And Apex has been for 3 years.
Well, Apex is a free game, though. So
I can't complain too much.
And to be fair, Apex originally was going to be Titanfall 3.
Yes, it was. Well, I'm a Titanfall fan as well.
I know, and I am still very, very pissed off at EA for canceling that. Because Titanfall 2 was great. We actually gave us a campaign that was disgusting.
The storyline was good.
And then, they were going to ship Apex with Titanfall 3 the same way that, what was that, Black Ops 4? They had that Battle Royale that
Yep.
was trash. And then Warzone shipped
I love the
with
frankness.
Modern Warfare. And that's what they were going to do. And then it was like, well, we don't know if Titanfall 3 is going to be a good idea. It's like, are you
Come on,
smoking
man.
crack, EA?
Of course
like,
it
what,
will be.
what are you doing?
That's the You're right. You're right. It's the company.
I mean, EA's trash. They're the worst.
They do. They were worse with like paywall, like trying to get in a game, like the whole Apex thing that I'm complaining about.
They
right now.
have one of, if not the best, game developer in BioWare. So it's Dragon Age, Mass Effect, like just
Immense storyline, immense.
even Star Wars
just
KOTOR
immersion.
was BioWare, which was one of the best RPGs of all time. And they dropped the ball with it every single time. Anthem was going to be great, and that was also BioWare, but then EA was like, well, no, we need to ship it a little faster. So
Buggy.
they shipped it unfinished with cut content, and then got mad at BioWare when people complained. It's like, it's not BioWare's fault.
It's not BioWare. You
Like,
pushed the deadline.
The Mass Effect Andromeda was the same way. They shipped it too early because EA wanted half that team to switch to Anthem so they could get it done faster. I didn't have any of the bugs with Andromeda.
Right.
Because I know how to build a computer now. No,
You work it out.
it's not hard. Don't try to push 4K on a 1080p monitor.
Yes,
You won't have any
any
problems.
issues.
Um,
I'm running 2K 1440.
that's what I'm running now too.
Yeah.
I literally just got my new monitor last week.
Nice.
32 inch too.
I'm
Curved.
27, I think.
This
I got the
thing
big
is-
boy, whatever it was at the
Yeah.
time.
This thing is so nice.
You like the curve?
Yeah.
I haven't. My brother got one, and I looked at it and liked it, but I wasn't sure because I haven't gamed on it or
Once
played.
you start playing on a curve,
It's hard to
it's
switch.
hard to go back to a flat panel. It's so hard.
Oh,
It's
don't tell me
very
that.
hard.
I've spent enough
Um,
money, sir. I don't have any
Well,
money
I
to
mean,
spend.
this one I just got. It was only like $280.
That's
was
not
on
bad.
sale.
I spent like
32 inch, 165 hertz. Like,
Yeah, you're doing.
of course I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Mine's 120 hertz, and I think I spent like right at 3 for it at the time. But again, everybody was
No.
like, the prices are high, blah 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 blah, and then COVID hit right after I bought everything, like literally right after I bought everything. So I got lucky, and I was just that guy. I was stubborn. I was like, I don't care. It's gonna cost a couple hundred more bucks. I want this. And I was that guy. So I built the thing, had the dead start, and then I called Brian and got the dead start figured out. You know. As far as your gaming career, is there a certain game? Is WoW the game? Is that the one that you love playing the most?
Yeah.
Do you have an all-time?
Oh, an all time?
Do you have an all-time? I'm just curious because we played a lot of games.
Yeah.
I know mine is just a fallback with my nostalgia. I know what mine
Actually, yeah. Remember on PS1, Siphon Filter? It's a great little story shooter.
is. I did not play that one.
Oh, they need to remake that game. I would buy a PlayStation 4 if they remade Siphon Filter.
Siphon Filter. I'll have to look that
Yeah,
up.
it was cool. It was like you were like I can't remember what agency you worked with. It was one of the Alphabet boys, but there was a terrorist attack that was going on, and it was all like they were gonna release like some toxic gas in the city, so you had to go through and disable it.
No, that's
It was
pretty
very
cool.
good. It was a very good game.
What year?
This was PS1, so this was probably
Early 2000s. Right?
well, PS2 came out in like 2002.
Oh my God, was it in the early
think.
or late 90s?
Yeah,
I wish
late
I could.
90s.
This is where I wish I had a Jamie. I'd be like, fact check that, Jamie. Give me that. Give me that info.
Yeah,
But-
because I was still renting PS1 games from old Ingles when they had the movie gallery inside,
Yeah,
or
buddy.
whatever the Ingles movie rental place was.
Movie gallery, dude. You just took my brain on a wave. Movie gallery, the whole kit and caboodle, walking in and like picking out the whole. Wow, I haven't thought about any of those blockbuster experiences in forever, man. Just walking in and picking out a VHS or something and going home and watching or finding games.
Like, just imagine the
Red
generations
box-
in 50 years are gonna think that we were crazy.
We were wild. We went to a red box. You went to a box on the side of the street and rented movies
Yeah.
and then took it home.
He's
and
like, why didn't you just watch it on Netflix?
and
well,
the disc was all scratched up, so you
Like,
about couldn't
well,
watch
I
it.
couldn't watch it on Netflix because it didn't have any internet.
Didn't exist. Didn't exist yet. That's pretty wild. Is new experiences. You got anything new going on, buddy?
Yeah, a little bit.
What you doing?
Stepping into the little stepdad role here a little bit.
How is that?
It's nice. It's fun.
A lot of responsibility.
I love my girlfriend so much. She lives in Anderson, and then with me working, it's like, it's hard to, and her working too. It's like, it's hard to get those days lined up.
Balance.
But yeah, she got a 4.5-year-old and a 2-year-old, both boys.
That's
and
awesome,
it is
dude.
when I like hanging out with them, I like revert back to like a kid, and so like I'm walking around like making weird noises, like waving my hands in the air, and it's great.
You preach it to the crowd, bro.
I absolutely love it.
I am the choir. I literally do that on the daily with my kids. I try my best, and I told my wife this multiple times, but I felt like one of my major jobs in life was going to be a dad. If I were able to be a father in any way, shape, or form, that was going to be something I took very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I do. And it's cool that you are willing to step into somebody else's life and be a good person for these kids. Like, that's kudos to you.
And me and her, we've known each other since high school. And then we had like a little fling back then. And then years and years and years passed. And then got back together.
That's awesome, man. So, congratulations, bro. I like to hear happy stories. It sounds like you're happy.
I am.
Good stuff.
I'm very happy.
That's awesome, man. That's the big thing. Finding happiness in life.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's one of the hardest things to do, though.
And I want one of my own eventually, but if it doesn't happen, I got two little rambunctious boys that are hilarious.
That's all that matters, dude. I feel like it's imparting that knowledge and giving that that time and that grace to
and
a
they're
younger
young
generation.
enough.
It's perfect, bro.
They're young enough, so it's like, all right, I don't really have to. Well, around Emmett, I have to watch what I say sometimes.
Yes,
because I do. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't cussed more today.
You're good, bro. This podcast is over.
Oh, I know.
You can do whatever
After
you
that
want.
Zach Smith
I
episode,
loved it, dude. Like I was laughing the entire time.
I think everybody was. We were watching it in the Discord, like I was streaming it for everybody, and it was it was great. No, so yeah, I have to watch what I say around him. James, the 2-year-old, I can get away with a little bit. Actually.
Yeah, just have some fun.
But he does know baby sign language, and
that's awesome. That is pretty cool. Is there any reason that he knows baby sign language? You just picked it up.
Just something that Amy wanted to teach him.
I respect that. Yeah. Look, my kid seen me trying to learn how to play chess, and now he demands that I play chess against him. Is he good at it? No. He hasn't checked me not one time. But he's really good at defense. He gets the idea of trying to wall his king off. Like, he gets the conceptual ideas of what the pieces can do and whatever. So it's fun to watch his brain pick up.
Like, figure it out, yeah.
He's like, oh, this can do this can do this. And as he works it out, he's starting to figure out. He defends well. Not even going to lie to you. Like, he defends well because conceptually he's like, I'm keeping my king safe. Yeah. He doesn't really pay attention to what...
Which makes sense.
It does. But he's not paying attention to what I'm doing. So I'll checkmate him, and I'll have to explain what it is that I'm doing and how I checkmated him or whatever. But he takes it like a champ. I will give it to him. He handles it like a boss. I promised him I'd do a podcast with him. So it's going to be a me and him thing at one point in time.
Oh, that'll be great.
So I don't know exactly how that's going to go, but we're going to go with it. It's going to be fun.
You just got to let him
I'm going to let him be himself. I'm going to let him be himself. Dude, he's so much like me as a child. He's a people pleaser. He's a good kid. Like, all I got to do is raise my voice at him, and he will crumble. And it's because he wants to do good. Like, he wants to be a good kid. Esther, on the other hand, my daughter, love her to death. She will spit at you, bro. Like, she's a spitfire, man. Like, she really is. She's a spitfire. And I love her to death. I wouldn't change her because she's a lot like her mom. She's got some spine for sure. She stands up for herself. She's not afraid to tell you, like, you'll bump by her and she'll be like, you ran into me. You say sorry. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You know, like, you got to give her the grace. Like, I'm sorry. I got you, girl. My bad.
I love that.
But yeah, man. Is there anything that can you plug the pod one more time for me? I really want to hear.
Oh yeah, the Sin Bin Goons.
The Sin Bin Goons. Where can we find that?
I'm pretty sure we're gonna put it straight up on YouTube. And maybe Spotify? I don't know.
Spotify, it's not hard.
I mean, the Place Past Soap's on Spotify. It's not hard to get on Spotify.
Oh, yeah. It's easy to put it up there.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't put it up there. Spotify did. Back when Spotify started, if you had music on iTunes, you automatically got put on Spotify.
Do you? Oh, never mind. Did they have to pay y'all for that? Okay, never mind. I was stop. This is how my mind works because how could they do that without your permission or if it's just a part of like the corporate structure of them taking content and putting it on their own thing?
So I think Spotify got a license through whatever one of the big music rights things are, and it was like, okay, this is just a way to stream. We'll do a monthly sub, and that's how they they pay for it, because buying rights to music is not cheap.
No, I
It's
got
not cheap.
caught stealing music from some company that probably blackmailed me in some way, shape, or form. I was in my wife's apartment. I downloaded like a freaking, I don't know, Foo Fighters album or something. And then got an email recently thereafter and was like, "You've been caught stealing songs from blah, 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 blah." And it was sent to my wife's email because it was her, like, account that I guess the court, like, the structure of the internet, like, charter or whoever it was watching for these things. So I didn't know, and I didn't use VPN or anything like that. So I
you
just...
don't need a VPN. You just got to know
talk.
whether or not your ISP is actually watching what you're doing.
Got you. So I guess they were at this point in time, and they threatened her.
Charter's very bad about that.
Well, they threatened her with, like, lawsuit and jail time, and she came to me, like, upset because obviously she had been put under the gun that she had nothing to do with. So I had to fork out like $700 to some company to keep
That's
that.
it?
That was it. But I ain't gonna lie to you.
I mean, 700 beats jail.
Well, it was a lot more originally. I had to call them and be like, "I ain't got that." Like, I don't know what you want me to do, but I ain't going to jail, but I ain't got that. You're going to have to figure it out. And they met me in the middle, so I paid $700. So, again, that's why it felt like blackmail. I was like, I'm negotiating this.
Maybe not blackmail, but extortion.
Extortion, yeah, there we go. Extortion is a good word. But I didn't know how to handle it other than give them what they wanted because my wife, not them wife, but girlfriend at the time was hot. Because she had gotten this thing in the mail and an email and was like, "You're caught." And she was like, "What did you do?" And I was like, "I don't know if it was me. Maybe it was somebody else."
Dave Grohl, babe.
You know, I love Dave Grohl. I don't know what to tell you. Like, awesome band, by the way. One of my favorites, Foo Fighters.
They're very good.
Do you have a favorite band? Can we go back to music quickly? I'm going to try to cap with a couple quick questions, and then I'm going to probably get us out of here.
Let's see. Favorite band.
Do you have
I
one?
mean, it kind of changes. But
you can give me
if
a
my
list.
number one end-all be-all is Alien Ant Farm.
Alien Ant Farm.
Anthology might be one of the few perfect albums ever written. And I do not... like that. I stand by it.
I respect it.
I keep that album in my truck.
That's awesome, dude. What was you listening to when you pulled up?
Waster.
It sounded rocking.
Yeah. Waster, WSTR. They're from England. Very good pop punk.
Nice, dude. We covered your favorite meal. Can I get a... Can I put...
those kitchen...
No, it's not the kitchen secrets. I just want to ask you this. Other than Charles Barkley, is there another person? Is there any other famous people that you have cooked any food for?
Chloe Grace Moretz, Hit Girl, and Kick Ass for those. And also, Carrie and the Carrie remake, which is very good. Do you remember the show Revolution on NBC? It was like the world kind of went to shit, power went out, and then like the U.S. was kind of split into certain places. One of the guys that played the bad guy in that entire show hung out with him one night, got stupid drunk.
Nice. But
he was just excited because nobody had recognized him.
Nice.
And I was like, "Bro, Revolution's a great show. Like, what are you talking about?
Let's go. Let's go have a good time."
And then...
I can obviously edit this out. I'm trying to pull out of you the Waka Flocka story.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was wanting to get at, but I didn't know if that's something you can honestly speak on.
I can, yeah.
Okay.
Because nothing bad happened that night.
Okay, I don't remember the entirety of the story, but I do know that Waka Flocka flame was involved.
Bro, it was great. Just grilling out, man.
This is where I wanted to cap. I wanted the Waka story.
So me and Evan was working at Cumberland Mall at the time at Journeys in Atlanta. And a few of his coworkers, they lived in Camp Creek. So like one night they were like, "Hey man, we're gonna grill out, like have some drinks. Y'all should come." So and I knew his coworkers too, and so we went and we're just sitting there and it's like hood adjacent, right?
Yep.
And we're the only two white people within like 20 miles.
Yep.
100%. But we were having fun. Like we're out cooking, bottle of Hennessy being passed around, little
classic cookout,
little green being passed around,
Classic cookout, baby.
So we're sitting there and then
you got invited to the barbecue, guy.
This apartment right next where we're grilling, all of a sudden like all these cars pull up, and everybody gets out of all these cars and they just stand in the yard, all wearing red. So I'm like,
please don't tell me you had any blue on.
No, God.
Okay, I was just checking, dude.
I'm smarter than that.
I didn't know. I'd have been the DA standing there with an all blue jumpsuit on.
I'm sitting there, like I'm just grilling some burgers and hot dogs, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Guy comes out of the apartment, snaps his fingers, they all sit down. I'm like, oh. And then he looks over at me and he like gives him the nod. I'm like,
Give him
"Hey,
a
what's up,
nod.
man?"
Yeah.
I'm still flipping burgers. And all of a sudden, like, they all go inside and two guys stand outside. And then this nice Escalade just pulls up. And at this point, like, I'm smoking a cigarette because I'm like, oh, this is wild.
This is
I'm
wild
watching
right
an
now, dude.
actual, like, blood meeting happen. And, like, I'm just, like...
You're just in the backyard chilling.
Yeah,
Like,
just hanging out.
flipping burgers.
Waka hops out of this Escalade, and I'm like, holy shit, it's Waka. He comes over to me, looks at the burgers, like, hey, man, you wanna make me one of those? I'm like, yeah, I got you.
I got you,
I'm
fam.
like, let's go. So, like, make them, everybody comes out, they get in their cars, they all leave. Waka still hangs out. And it's just,
The food brings people together.
I'm telling you, man,
The
like,
food brings people together, my friend.
I'm not starstruck often, but I think it was just the high stress of, like, holy shit, like, there's an actual, like,
Dude, I'd have been
blood
out of
meeting
my
going
mind.
on. And I'm just sitting here, the only white boy around.
Sore
Just
thumbing.
grilling.
You sore thumbing right now, bro.
Just
You're
grilling
sticking
out.
out. You're sticking out. For sure. How was the burgers? Obviously good enough to keep Waka hanging around for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Perfect medium well.
That's awesome, man. And everything ended well? You just dapped him up, have a great night?
Hung out for a little bit, went back into our buddy's apartment. Then the night,
Boost.
me and Evan drove back to Midtown. That was it.
So where all of Zach's stories were like literal bombshells, he'd be like, yeah, I was just walking down the street going to meet this chick for dance, and then boom, gun in my face. And you know,
Yeah.
yours are like, yeah, I hung out with the guy, he was a celebrity, he's cool as hell, and then he went home and we finished the night out and cleaned the kitchen. It was a great day.
That was it.
Like, so casual about the actual celebrity meetings. And I'm like, dude, I'd have been closest I've ever been to a celebrity. I'll tell my own little stint. Me and Nick Kenya were living in Atlanta with his brother
I
Carl.
love Nick
Nick's a
so
good
much.
guy,
Every
man.
time I see him
Shout
at
out,
Ingles,
Nick.
I get so pumped because I just hear, like, from across Ingles, like, yo, Jeff.
That's
I
my
get
boy.
so pumped. I get
That's
so
my
pumped.
boy. So we've been best friends since like 7th grade. And he and I were hanging out in Atlanta, working maintenance together at the time at an apartment complex. His brother had helped us get jobs. My mom had just started going through her cancer stint, so I needed to go to work. I called him and was like, I know you're already down there with a job. Do y'all have any openings? And they was like, do you have any experience? I was like, I don't know a single thing about maintenance. But I worked in Granite my whole life, and if you give me enough to learn, I'll figure it out. I did just that. Went to work for him. I hope I did a decent job. Didn't stay long. The guy I was working for is a whole other story in and of itself. He looked like T.I., but he was like 6'2", and he was a trip.
Does his name have to be Joe?
No, it wasn't Joe.
Because I know a guy just like that in Atlanta that does about the same job.
Sure enough. I'll have to talk to Nick to make sure I don't mess this guy's name up, but we'll talk about that because I ain't gonna lie to you. He was like, I called him boss man, and he hated that. I don't know why. It was just because I grew up in a place. It was like, what's up, boss man? Like, what you need me to do today? Whatever. Hated that. So I had to change. I was like, what's up, dude? Like, what can I do for you? Whatever the case may be. Trying to be respectful. He just didn't like the terminology, I guess. But on the day he quit and left me and a 70-something-year-old man to start putting in about 10 busted ACs in the middle of the summer, we were cleaning out the trash bin in the middle of that heat. And I'm standing in the middle of like a pile of garbage and throwing it into the compactor because people over the weekend just stack it out there and don't care, you know, Atlanta. And while I'm doing so, he's like, all right, boys, we finna learn who the men is and who the boys are. This is going to be when you find out if you really made for this job or if you ain't made for this job. We got this and this and this and this and this and this to go through today and blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. 10 minutes later, my manager from the actual office inside comes out crying. He went in there and quit. He walked in and quit within 10 minutes of saying that, bro. And I'm sitting out there like, oh, no, dude. I looked at the guy's name's Teddy. I'll never forget Teddy. Wardock? I'll have to remember your last name, Teddy. But one of the greatest people, dude, like, you know, in his elder years, not physically made for this at the point. He and I got out there and tried to put these ACs in. I know people was pissed off, dude, because I didn't know what I was doing. Teddy halfway had it figured out, and the guy that was supposed to be there leading the whole shebang had quit right after telling us all that we finna find out who the men and the boys are, and was like, and stole the tools we needed.
What a way to go out, too, because you knew he came into work today. He's like, man, I'm out this.
And came out and said all that speech, and then dipped. And I was like, oh my God, dude. So, and he took tools we needed to actually work, like the compressor gauges where you find out how much AC. Yeah, like all that. We went back in the shop, gone. And they didn't file charges because he worked there for like 30 years
Yeah.
or something like that. And he left out and was like, I ain't leaving with nothing. So he dipped on us, bro. But yeah, man, it was an experience going through Atlanta. I'm glad that you've done your travels and that you're back here in Elbert County. I'm glad that you're here just doing your thing.
Bro, it's great. It is great being back.
Shout out Flat Tire. You guys are doing well.
Come see us.
Yeah,
It's,
let them know.
I mean, I'm there normally Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Mondays occasionally.
I could promise the food's good.
It is damn good.
I could promise that.
It's damn good.
Well, Jeff, I appreciate you, man.
Oh, yeah.
This has been another episode of Social Therapy. We've been here in the hot box for quite some time now. I'm going to let Jeff go and get after the raid that he's got to get after. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
If you ever want to do this again, just let me know.
Let's do it.
I'd love to hear the podcast you guys have coming out with the hockey.
We'll have
and
you
two
on
Canadians.
in the middle of baseball season for
Let
sure.
me know. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. All right, guys. Y'all have a good day. I love you. Hope this finds you blessed. Take care. Woo! That was fun. Woo!
That shit was hot.
Appreciate it, man. I like playing music. It's one of my favorite things to do.